Hey, what's going on YouTube? American Outdoor Dad here. I'm going to take a few moments and do a 1 year review on a boat motor. Now, I have a 16-foot Starcraft. It's an aluminum boat made out of the 1985. It needs a lot of work, needs some new floor, and I've slowly begun to do some of that work. And part of the floor is going to be a winter project. That'll be a whole separate video, and I'm going to really appreciate my buddies that have agreed to help me. So, what I want to take a few minutes on talk about is the Evinrude Etec 30. Now, this is the older Etec. They came out about 7-8 years ago, and I got a tiller manual start a motor that is the only two-stroke still being sold currently. Now, when I say I bought this brand new, I bought it from a dealer last year, Barnacle Build Marine Supply in New Jersey. Those guys are awesome. I went up there from the lair in Northern Virginia. It was absolutely well worth the drive. Beautiful through the farmland too. He's in Southern Jersey. So he and I had worked a price that honestly I couldn't get it down here in Northern Virginia. So even though it was a 4-hour drive, it was very well worth it. Well worth it. The service was excellent. He's given me some help here and there, some tips, and just follow through as a great business owner really should. So this particular boat motor, the Etec 30, has got about 35 to 40 hours on it. I can't give you the exact amount because my hour meter battery died, but at last check, it was at about 38 hours, and we took a ride this past weekend, did a little bit of fishing. I probably maybe put about 45 to an hour on it. So that's why it overall said and done. So the actual motor itself, yes, it's heavy. It is the latest 30 on the market, but it's heavier compared to the old school 30s that are out there now. So when I say old school, I'm talking about the old Evinrude Johnsons, the Yamaha two-strokes, the old Mercury two-strokes. This particular motor, though, it's got a lot of torque. I've had myself and two other buddies who were sitting in the front put us up on plane, no questions asked. The boat itself is about 700 pounds. It's aluminum. And, I'm pushing 3 bills. My other buddies are pushing combined, another 400. So we're close to the Coast Guard maximum weight limit for that particular boat. And it just pushed us up on plane, no questions asked. Top speed. So I have a three blade prop that is a 12.5 pitch, 10-inch by diameter, and top speed varies depending on which hole I have it in. The second and third holes are the two that I use, and there's a reason I use those two particular holes. In water that happens to have, and I'm going with the current, or I'm going with the tide especially, I'll use the second pitch. I get a little more speed. So if it's me and my buddy, and who weighs about 200 pounds, we'll do a solid 26 mile per hour, no questions asked, with 12 gallons of gas, 10 rods, all our tackle boxes and food for the day, beer, whatever it is. The third hole, it doesn't do as fast. It's about a mile per hour slower, but I notice there's a big amount of control that I get when I have that particular in that particular hole. I have gotten in trouble in that boat with that motor. So short story, we got caught in 5-foot waves on a Potomac River at night, and the only thing that I had to see was my little 360 light, and I was scared. And I did the thing that in order to get in safely, because we were committed. We were in the middle of the river, coming away from hiding behind a lighthouse, and we didn't realize the winds had picked up to gale force, and we came out and we were committed. If I turned around, we would have been flipped. So I just, put it on a diagonal against the waves, kept that bow up as high as I could. My buddy sat down as close to being even as we could, and I ended up having to surf a wave about a mile, one wave. And with that 30, I was able to really match that speed and not overshoot the wave. And once we got into just choppy water, it was 2-foot chop, but it was just choppy. I was able to make my move, and we weren't going to die. So I really appreciate that 30 the way it is, and the power that it has, because if it was in with my old 99 Mariner from 1985, which still runs, by the way, yeah, it would have cavitated. Too much, not enough of the water could have been caught, and it would have been bad. We would have been capsized. So all said and done, we'll cut to on the water to show you guys how it runs, some of the small improvements I've made, and you'll see some different carpeting, because I'm going to go with a different gray carpeting from the standard 1980s vinyl. So that'll look nice. That'll just be pretty. But I really like this motor. I have had one problem though, and that is the starter pawl. From what I understand, the starter pawls don't go, and it could have been my negligence or my still not getting used to where the forward, reverse, neutral switches are. Last year, right about this time, I got stuck in a Potomac River because the starter pawl was eaten. Like, it was just disintegrated. Huge shout out yet again to the Prince William County Police for essentially saving my ass. We got it into the closest marina, and they gave me a ride to get my truck, and the marina allowed me to back my truck in without charging me anything, and to get my boat up safely, which, shout out to down at Fairview Beach, Rick's on the Water. Appreciate that. Thank you for that last year still. So I'm going to cut to the water, and we'll show you guys a little bit about what this motor is able to do. I have changed stickers. I was playing some games, this and that. I was actually debating taking it on a 20 horsepower and under lake, but I didn't. It just wasn't worth the fine, or just even the hassle. So the stickers are, say, 15 high output, but it is a 30. And yeah, so we'll cut, and I'll show you what it's all about. Hey, what's going on, guys? All right, so to continue the Etec run, I've got my Etec. We're currently just coming out of Pennsylvania. You can see, like I said, it's labeled as a 15, but it's really a 30. All right, it's got a 10.5 by 12.5 pitch, and let's see what she does. All right, so we're going from, actually, let me slow her down, because we're out of the no-wake zone. So I'm going to slow her down. I'm just going to hit it. Ready? Let's see what she does. We're already up on plane. Rolling. This is what we like to see. So I'm going to put you over the side a little bit. Get very minimal weight. Beautiful out here. We're going to go down, see if we can hit down to the 301 bridge from Pennsylvania. It's a hell of a hike, I'm not gonna lie. It's about 20 miles. So I'll tag back in and when we get there. What's going on, guys? So we're about a third of the way down to the 301, and I'm going to flip, if you guys can see over my shoulder here, it's Quantico Marine Base. Give you an idea of exactly where I'm at. So on the other side of Quantico, I'm gonna try and get it in frame here. We have some old World War I, late 1800s ships that have been left here to rot. It's a bit of an eyesore that happens to be here on the Potomac River, but at the same time, even though they're an eyesore, they also provide some seriously awesome fishing grounds. Lots of bass, catfish live here. These catfish have balls of steel. I've literally had them come up to me in the boat and like look at the boat, bite the boat. You know, little guy, about a foot long, maybe 18 inches, and just go away, just as casually as anything. So this is a very popular destination for kayakers, as you guys can pretty much see why. With all these wrecks here, it's pretty gentle waters, but you do have to be very careful. Because these ships, they've disintegrated and degraded over time, and you know, if you've got a motor, could be bad. Oh, by the way, as we continue to talk, my motor is still on. This thing's quiet. I love it. So, all right, let's see where it goes. I've got our first white cap, but down to the 301. Guys, so I made it down here to the first true buoy markings that we see here. I don't know if you can see it off here. The waves are starting to get a little bit rougher than I prefer. I'm gonna go a little bit farther, but it does look like we got some weather coming in. So I may end up terminating this trip, especially as I see whitecaps developing. I'd rather be safer than sorry. And I mean, the other option that I've got is high tide is at about 3 o'clock, so that I can wait till slack tide and outgoing tide to come back in. So I'm gonna consider my options, see where this goes, and we'll go from there. All right, so I made it down here to Quiet Harbor, and yes, I'm in gear, as you guys can see a little bit of motor, and the river is a little rough. But what's worrying me is the weather. Even though the weather apps, and I'm using No Radar app, are saying, oh, it's okay. This river has a big habit of not being okay. So I'm gonna give it a little time. Hey, there's a fisherman over there. Give it a little time, see what we can do, see if we can catch anything, and then if we can't, we'll call it a day. Alright guys, so we got down past Quiet Harbor, and of course there's a nice rainstorm coming in, so we are terminating the trip so we don't die. Alright, we'll let you know when we get back safe. So quick update, I'm about 2/3 of the way back toward where I launched from. Decided to do a little bit of fishing. It's not super rough, as you guys can see. It's just rough enough to keep a good wake, a solid wake, but I would say no more than about 6 inch to a foot chop. This boat will handle that, no problem at full throttle. So I'm definitely within about 5 miles of where I need to be. I did use quite a bit of gas, probably used almost 5 gallons in my run, but it was definitely fun. We did hit 30 mile per hour going with the tide on a clear stretch where there was almost no wake. It was like the perfect water. Going against, we were doing about 24 and a half, so putting us an average at about 26, 27, which is pretty awesome for this particular motor, which is the standard prop. Definitely designed for control and not speed, and for how much stuff and how heavy this boat is. Given it's a 16-foot aluminum, but it's got wood floors, you know, and I'm in process of doing carpeting. I got like 10 fishing rods, 12 gallons of gas, well now about 6, and yeah, and bait myself, which I'm a big boy, but yeah, it's good times. All right, catch you. Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back here safely at the shop, and all said and done, I am very impressed with the Etec 30. It's got about 40 hours on it, and other than the small starter pull issue, which Barnacle Bills up in Jersey took care of us, the motor's been very good. It's got plenty of torque.
I do wish it was smaller in weight. I don't mind the size, but the weight, but the downside is the EPA emissions. Note that it is the cleanest carbon producer and even carbon monoxide producing engine outboard in this current offering. That's including 4-strokes as well. I am realistically, the engine is the perfect size for that particular boat, and the way that they have the larger prop shaft and how wide and how thick it is excellent for the terms of control. Evinrude, you did a really good job with that. Thank you very much. So all said and done, we did take a nice trip. We used about 6 gallons of gas, which comes to be about 10 miles per gallon. And the boattest.com gentleman who tested an Etec 25 got roughly the same gas mileage, but they had a completely empty, just aluminum only with 6 gallons of gas. That's pretty impressive with how much weight was in that particular boat. Yeah, I honestly can't say enough about the particular engine. If you're in the market for a 30, whether it's on like a small whaler or for an aluminum boat, definitely look at the Etecs. Do not give them a second just a glance over. You can prop them out. You can get more speed. I feel as if I had the proper a faster prop, I would be well into the 30s. No questions asked. I definitely recommend them. It's, like I said, I got 40 hours. I had the one little issue, and I really think that was my own fault, not the fault of the engine. Break-in was really easy. You just run it. And the computer control takes care of everything. Winterizing, I winterize it right on the boat launch, cover it, call it a day. Whenever I want to go out, boom. Sometimes it sucks a little bit to get it started because it is, a cranker where I got it's a pull start. But that's life. It's what I chose. I went budget friendly, but I went with a quality product. Yeah, so just be aware of that. I highly suggest, and it's even recommended by Evinrude, that you use their 100 series synthetic. You can use the 50, but the 100 series provides more protection. You could go with Amsoil Marine. There's been a few tests that they come out very close. I still think the Evinrude edges out the Amsoil in overall longevity, but in terms of, we're talking about thousands of hours at that point before a rebuild, instead of just your 100 hours you're going to get in 3 or 4 years if you're a casual boat user. These are guys that are offshore every day as part of the life. So again, highly recommend the Etec 30. It's a very good engine, great warranty, and I definitely look forward to working with Barnacle Bills in the future. Did a very nice job. Thank you for the sales. Thank you for the support. And Evinrude, make some damn good products. Thank you, guys.